Okay, hey, what's up guys, it's Slickmoff here. I'm back again with another video, and this one doing a video I've definitely never done before, sort of a unique idea, I think anyway. Hopefully my iPad doesn't run out of storage. I know the audio is not great, not the best setup or anything like that, but today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be bag and boarding all of the comics that I've gotten pretty much in the past month or so, and I've got my headphones connected here so I don't want to lose them. But let's see, I'm trying to grab all of them without them falling over. So here's the ones that I have that I need to bag and board. You can see I've got a decent amount. I'm horrible with this. I get lazy when it comes to bag and boarding. So, I've got the comics I just got this week, like The Flash and, Suicide Squad. This is 5, I believe, yeah. And then we can go all the way to the bottom and we can find, let's see, what do we have here? Batgirl Number 3, that was from a month ago. So you can see I'm pretty back to, yes, Suicide Squad Number 3. So we've got some bag and boarding to do. We've got some organizing to do here. We've also got some comics that I buy in back issues. I buy back issues pretty regularly. These are $1 books. If I buy back issues, they're only $1 or $2 usually. Otherwise, I don't really see the point in buying back issues. You might as well just buy a new book. But so that's what we're going to be doing here. We are going to be going over my comics. I'm going to be bag and boarding them. You're going to see them. For some of you, this may be a mundane video. I thought it could be fun. I'll be giving my reviews for the comics as I go through them and my thoughts on them, and just sort of talking about the books and that sort of thing as I go through. The only thing that you won't be able to see is when I actually get the comic and I place it into my long box here. I've got beside me. You won't be able to see that, but it's right here where I'm looking. So I probably should have done this before I started the video, but let me get out my bag and board here. So here's the bag, or here's the board, excuse me. So you got your current age comics. And let me move this, and then I've got my bags. You've got to make sure it's with the same company, so it's the same thing as you saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and bag and board all of these, and I will be giving my reviews for them as I go through them, and just sort of talking. Sometimes I won't be talking. And just sort of see how this goes for a unique video idea. And if you'd like to see this, I'm sure I'll procrastinate doing bag and boarding in the future, so I can do it that way. So I do want to sort of sit up a little bit here. How can I do this? That works for me. That works for me. Okay, so let's get right into this. And I'll talk about my process of bag and boarding, what I do, what I like to do with it. Here's the oh shit, my tape thing just fell off the edge here, so I need to get that on there. There we go. Okay, good. So the tape that I use like super light tape. You can see, you can't even see it really, it's so clear. But I don't like using the heavy tape because I find that it sticks too much to the bag if I want to reread the comics. Now the only comic that I own that I won't reread, probably, but I was tempted to the other day, so I might eventually, is the DC Universe Rebirth book, of course by Jeff Johns. It came out in late May. So this is Suicide Squad number 5. If there's a book that, for example, I know 3 and 4 are in here somewhere, so I'm not going to put them in my long box just yet. So the way that I bag and board, you can see here, I've got my board. You want to make sure that you have the silk, sort of silky smooth side on the top side. This is the side you put the comic on. And I just got my oily hands. They're not oily, I just washed them, but, if you really are into, keeping your comics in great shape. This is more the cardboardy side. This is the side that you want facing the bag and not the actual book. So put the book on here. I try to center it as much as I can. It fits pretty well, a little bit of space on each side. That's the idea. So that if, you're in a car and it goes like this, it hits this, the very edge of the board and not the book itself, if you know what I mean. So I like to put them together, and then we're going to get the bag here. Pretty simple, and you want to put it in, being pretty careful not to nick the edges of the book or anything like that. I got my tape attached to it, that's no good. Just sort of push it through here. So here I just want to make sure everything's good. You can see the edges aren't on the bottom or anything like that. The book seems to be like it's in well. Then you want to take a piece of tape. This is a pretty small one, not one that I usually use, but anyway. And you want to put it at an angle. Yeah, see, that one's not good. It's not long enough. But you want to put it at an angle such that you can push your thumb under it and just push straight across. And by the way, this is a 9/11 remember thing, so if you see why I have, I don't know why I have it on, but anyway. I felt like it'd be dirty to take it off or something like that. So all of these books recently, they either have in Rebirth, they either have a Snickers ad on them, or they have whatever, this 1966 Batman ad on him. So this is Batgirl number 4. I gotta say, I've been really enjoying the Batgirl series. I was skeptical about it because, of course, in 2011 we had Gail Simone's Batgirl run, which was mythic. I have all 5 volumes of it, and very rarely do I buy full volumes. You guys may know, and people ask me all the time, this sort of leads into it, where do you buy, how do I get into comics? I don't have a lot of money to get into it, and comics are expensive. I spend about $20 a month on comics. I think that's expensive. That's $80 a month. Put that over, that's a lot of money, especially for a college student like I am. But the good news is, for me, is that that's all I spend money on. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy, any crap like that. So, I guess I just don't care how I look or whatever. Okay, scratch that. I do buy some things sometimes, some clothes. So there's Batgirl number 4. I know that number 3 is over there, so I'll keep that waiting too. But yeah, going on with Batgirl here, I got to talk about this book too. I'll save this for later because I have a lot to say about Titans 4. Oh, here's an interesting one. This is a preview book. I might not bag and board this. This is from Stranger Comics, okay? I'd never read it before. I read this vampire little preview, and it was fucking great. It was oh, here it is. You can see it's like this double-sided type thing. I read the vampire. It was good. It was really good, but I'm not going to bag it. Because I only want to use those on the Rebirth books or, otherwise back issues and stuff like that, but not preview books. These are sort of meant to be thrown around, I think. So, I'll find a place for that later. Put that over there. Titans number 4, once again, don't want to talk about. So, going on with Batgirl, or what was I going on about? I'm getting sidetracked already. In terms of reading comics, I don't have any money. How do I get into it? I wouldn't recommend going into Rebirth right away. What I would recommend is, if you have no money, go to Barnes & Noble's and read, a bookstore or anything like that, and just read the comics, read the graphic novels. And the thing about it is you don't need, a ridiculous amount of money to do that. In fact, you don't have to buy anything. I do this all the time, every month, all the time. And, I have $20 to dish out on a graphic novel if I really wanted to. Now, I don't want to. I don't want to spend money because I'm a broke college kid. But if I really had to, and usually I go in there with no money, so I'm not tempted to do so, that sort of thing. I would recommend going in there and just reading. And I just sit on the floor in Barnes & Noble and I just freaking read graphic novels, and it's awesome. I was reading the Arkham Genesis comics. It was great, but it was one of those things as well. It was like, I don't really want to buy this, to be honest with you. So it's freeloading. It's what it is. It's in economics, we call it the free rider problem. Okay? And you want to be a part of the free rider problem if you're a broke kid and you want to read comics. That's what I do. And that's what I would recommend is, just try to read as much as you can for free. Check the library and stuff like that. I'm having tape issues. That's fucking great. That is just great. Here we go. I've got the edge of here. But yeah, that's what you got to do. You just got to, you're trying to spend as minimal amount as possible. Go to your comic book store if you have one. I know a lot of you don't. Go to your comic book store and see if they have $1 back issues. And just read whatever you can. Just read the freaking worst $1, Supergirl back issues you've ever fucking read in your life. And just read, you know what I mean? That's my advice. And, don't read bad comics because then you'll, sort of be scarred for life or whatever and not want to read them anymore. Flash number 9 here. Not a very good cover. Oh, I forgot to tape Wonder Woman. That's what I was doing. So, that's how I recommend getting into comics. So, I'll tape that down. Didn't really get it a good angle there, but that should suffice. And Wonder Woman, I think I've got 8 in here. I'm just going to put them in the long box later because you can't see it anyway. So for the sake of this video, we'll do that. Let's get into the Flash. So Batgirl. Let's talk about Batgirl because, I could talk about Batgirl all day. Was worried about it. Hope Larson is the writer. It was really good in the New 52. And in the New 52, it's basically Batgirl with a much more serious take on her. What we had after that, from issue 35 onward, Gail Simone, who was the writer, an amazing writer, got fired, okay? She got fired from the book, and they got on this sort of hipster style, and Barbara Gordon, texted people. It was weird. I did not like it. I really like the takes on her where she's a little bit more serious. And basically, when they don't appeal to females, I guess, because I'm not a female, and I don't like female, books that are targeted to females. I like books that are targeted to, either males or just don't really have a gender appeal. And that book definitely had a gender appeal. So I read the first issue. I said, I'm not reading this crap again. It sucks. So, you know, I was worried about this because it is very much so. You'll see, you know, she's got the purple. It's a little bit exaggerated in the art style, but it's great. It is great. And she's in, like, China or whatever, or Japan and all that crap. And it's great. I mean, it's really good. And basically, it's just sort of about her finding herself and stuff like that. She gets in this relationship with this guy named Kai, who's got some stuff going on with him, some nefarious things. Now, Teen Titans, I gotta talk about this book. Teen Titans is great. Oh, fuck. I just fucked up big league. See, I was showing the camera, and I got a bend right here. You might not be able to see it. It drives me nuts, though. You can see it right there. So that's down to a 9.8, and I probably have something... I don't know, this book otherwise I think is in pretty good shape. Now, sometimes I have problems with my comic book store because the bottoms are sort of bent up there. I'm really OCD about my books. But otherwise, it's in good shape. I try to find one. Yeah, they've been a lot better about it recently, but sometimes the bottoms are just sort of frayed when I get them, and I take very good care of my books as I just bent it over itself right there. But anyway, so Teen Titans has been really good. There's only been 2 issues, but I'd recommend everybody read it if you can. And basically, in the Rebirth issue, which I also have in here that I have to bag and board, this is the first issue. It's fucking awesome. Okay, so at the end of the book, basically, Damian Wayne he kidnaps every member of the Teen Titans. So, you know, like Starfire and Beast Boy and stuff like that. He kidnaps all of them. And basically, he gets this thing in the mail. I kid you not. He opens it up, and it is a dead Robin in the package. The savagery is unreal. And guess who it comes from? His grandfather. Ra's al Ghul sent his grandson a dead Robin, a literal dead Robin, not like a drawing of one, a literal dead Robin, and he opens it, that's all that's in it, and a little note about, like, oh, I'm coming for you, son. So I thought that was fucking awesome. Just the savagery unleashed on his grandson. I mean, that's just such a dysfunctional family. I think it's hilarious. I really do. So, Titans number 4, I got a lot to say about those. Abracadabra, the main villain here on the front, a fucking amazing villain. I just did it again. I need to do something about that. Okay, so here we go. That's what you gotta do, Slick. Don't be an idiot. Titans number 4. So in this book, I can't do this too often. I need to sort of get going here. Abracadabra is running laps around the Flash. Okay, you can see it right here. The camera's not very good. You see all that pop, 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 pop. That is him. The Flash is running towards him. Of course, Wally West Flash is running towards him, and then he disappears as soon as it... So, basically, if you don't know the scoop on Abracadabra, he is quickly becoming, like, one of my favorite DC villains of all time. I am not taking that lightly. Now, of course, probably my top 5 is all populated by Batman villains, to be honest with you. Maybe Darkseid's in there somewhere, but let's be honest with ourselves here. I mean, Batman does have the best villains in comics. But, oh my god, he is a fucking beast. Sorry, I'm getting the tape. Abracadabra. He is so damn cool. And basically, if you don't know the scoop on him, he is from the 46th century, okay? And he's not a magician at all. I always love that about DC villains. You know, like the Joker isn't funny. He tells the final joke and the killing joke, and it's not funny at all. It's like, and everybody in my video is like, well, I don't get the joke at the end. It's like, yeah, it's not that you don't get the joke. It's because it's not funny. You know, he was a horrible comedian. Nobody would watch him, and he failed miserably. So that, you know, the Joker isn't funny. Abracadabra is a terrible magician. It's not that he's a terrible magician. He just isn't one at all. And basically, because he's from the 46th century, okay, we're in the 21st right now. He uses technology to basically, you know, do his magic. Okay, so what you're seeing isn't like, you know, sleight of hand or anything. It's literally just tech. He's disappearing because he's from the 46th century and he can just teleport around and shit. But he is so damn cool, and it's basically a revenge story because Abracadabra, of course, has had his fair amount of run-ins with the Flash, Barry Allen, and Wally West. So yeah, he was mainly a villain of the Flash in, you know, like the 90s when Wally West was around, if I understand correctly. Not that I claim to be an expert about that stuff. So here's Superman number 9, number 8, excuse me. This is Dino Island Part 1, where basically Superman and Superboy teleport into this alternate reality but it's not an alternate reality, and there's some people from World War II, and there's dinosaurs involved. It's kind of wacky. I enjoyed it. It's its own sort of story, but I wouldn't say it's anything to write home about per se. So here's Aquaman number 8. I don't think I have 9 yet. Has 9 come out? And this is the Unstoppable part. I think I need 9. I think 9's already out. I think so. Yeah, I need to get number 9. But anyway, this is about this big monster dude who kind of reminds me of like, what's the word? Doomsday for Aquaman, like Aquaman's Doomsday. And you can see the lighting's not great in here. Let me go and turn my light on over here. I've got a little app on my phone, and I can turn on the... That's better, right? A little bit better. So yeah, that's Aquaman number 8. Oh, here we have Night of the Monster Man, part 5. I believe this is the final part. No, 6 is. But you do see Nightwing turn into one of the monsters. And Night of the Monster Man, I thought was such a great series. I think I'm going to organize it in my long box as its own thing, and not with the respective books. So, of course, like Nightwing number 5 is a regular, Nightwing book, and then Nightwing number 6 is Night of the Monster Man. So I think that's my intent that I'll be doing here. And just sort of having it, Night of the Monster Man part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually, the only book from Detective Comics that I own currently from Rebirth is Night of the Monster Man. And I've heard that it's been so good, of course, spoiler alert, with the death of Red Robin. I probably should have bought that comic first print, and it would be worth a lot of money one day, probably $200 in about a decade, probably. Since Night of the Monster Man. So these books are in good shape. I'm really happy with what I've been looking at here. So yeah, here's Superman Dino Island Part 2. It's sort of kooky. It's out there. But it's a good story. They run into these World War II vets that traveled through this time machine, basically. It's out there. I really mean it when I say it's out there. But it's a good story. It's fun. And I know that's what they wanted to do with Rebirth, is put the fun back into it. I personally don't have any issue with the more somber, stuff that we got in Rebirth. I think that Rebirth was particularly, New 52 was particularly good for female heroes, and sort of portraying them in a more serious way, where they can be taken seriously amidst their male counterparts. That includes the Birds of Prey, Batgirl, and Supergirl. I thought serviced those characters very well. The New 52 did. But the Rebirth, they I think are sort of returning to the roots of those characters and that sort of thing. And by the way, if we're looking for how Batgirl usually acts or has always acted in the canon, Gail Simone is not your writer, okay? But here we have Green Arrow, which I think has been a little bit hit or miss lately. I think that the 9th issue was very good. And you get to see the rekindling of the love relationship between Dina and Oliver. What I love about this book, and I do really enjoy the book. I think that every once in a while there's an issue that sort of doesn't land. But what I do love about this book is it is a ginormous middle finger to the show. I mean, in every way. Where, I think they even have a straight up joke about, like her becoming Oracle, and then, Dina, of course, the Black Canary. And, they're like, oh, that's so stupid, something like that. Jack Percy, I believe is his name, the writer, just throws so much shade at the show. It's hilarious. And it's funny because somebody was tweeting me the other day. I don't know if the person that tweeted me this is watching the video. But he was like, Slick, why do you not watch Arrow? It's basically the closest thing that we can get to a live-action Batman. And my answer is exactly for that reason that I don't watch Arrow, because it's live-action Batman. I don't want to watch an Arrow show that's Batman. If I wanted that, I would just watch Batman. I would watch a Batman animated series or something like that. So, yeah, it's just like, he has the Bale throat, doesn't he? The Bale voice. It's like, oh, I'm Green Arrow. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's just because Green Arrow's a more jovial character, isn't he? I certainly think so. So here we've got Talon, okay? And Talon is a new part of the Nightwing book, and at the start of the Nightwing series, it was the whole Better Than Batman arc, which is basically like, is Talon a better fighter and trainer for Dick Grayson than Batman is? Spoiler alert, the answer is no, but you sort of explore that over the length of the book. But this was Talon Part 1, I believe it was, and it was pretty good. Talon, he's an intriguing character, not a very likable one, but nor do you have to be. Damian Wayne is a very popular character. I don't think he's very likable. So here's Night of the Monster Men Part 6. The final part of Night of the Monster Men. Totally misleading cover in every way, because Batman does not go anywhere near the mouth of the giant monster. But I just love the aesthetic of Night of the Monster Men. Basically, it's just Hugo Strange makes all these monsters to destroy Gotham, and it is so cool. You go up to like Gotham Park, it's like the top of the mountain with all these caves, and it's stormy. There's like a tsunami coming or some shit like that. And you've got Spoiler, of course, Stephanie Brown, and you also have Cassandra Cain, and they're trying to sort of resolve everything and keep everybody calm, but this gooey infection goes over all the people of Gotham, and they turn into monsters themselves. It's really good. It's sort of like a zombie thriller, voice crack, but it's also just great. It's just great. I love it. So here we have Suicide Squad. I do want to talk about this book. You see Harley Quinn at the forefront, and she really is just a rock star, man. I mean, Harley Quinn has just been doing wonders for DC Comics. I love to see Killer Croc in his real form, and not the Suicide Squad form. Not that there's anything wrong with Suicide Squad's Killer Croc. I think he's okay in his own right. I've never heard Killer Croc say bruh before. That rubs me the wrong way. In every way. But, fuck, I can't get this back in here. Suicide Squad has been very good, and it's basically divided. Really, it's interesting. The first half of the issue is, the main story. And in the main story, basically, they get sent on this mission, and they go to Russia, and they somehow open up the Phantom Zone, and Zod pops out. Not only does Zod pop out, but there's other bad guys that want to take out the Suicide Squad, okay? So it's a really interesting premise, and basically it leaves you on a cliffhanger every time, and then it gets into the back half of the issue, which is backstory for each character. So they've already done Katana, they've already done Harley Quinn, and it's not just the straight-up origin, they expand on it a little bit. And there's this new girl named Hack who's pretty cool. She's like a Oracle, but cooler, because she can basically turn herself into digital. So she can literally teleport from a computer to a computer, but it's actually her, and it's kind of crazy. So that's that. Oh my god, Batman number 9. Holy Batman number 9 Batman. This issue, that was stupid, I shouldn't have said that. You get the point, though. I mean, that issue is so good, Batman number 9. And it's called I Am Suicide Part 1. I will spoil it for you if you want to have spoiled. Basically, Batman goes into the asylum, okay? And at the beginning, you get Bane's origin, the best we've ever seen it. And I won't go into that. And you've got Gotham Girl. Some people like her. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You can't really see it. That's Arkham Asylum. It is fucking amazing. And at the very end, he's basically forming his own Suicide Squad, okay? So Batman's going through and he's finding people, sort of like C-list Batman villains. I can't even recall everybody in there, like Tweed and like just the C-list villains. And you're like, okay, this squad's kind of lame, Batman, to be honest with you. He's getting like these really weird people. He also did get the ventriloquist, okay? And that's a B-list, not a C-list Batman villain. But then he goes in and he's trying to find the last person to form his team with. And he goes, one more. And he had already reached his max of 4. Like, ventriloquist was like his last one or something. And then the guy who's the warden of Arkham, it's not Quincy Sharp, is like, no, you're done. You can't get any more. And he's like, one more. And basically the warden gets in trouble. It's a long story, but basically Batman's like, I need one more, and I have leverage over you. So the warden has no choice but to agree. Essentially, he goes in, and he picks out his last inmate to form his Suicide Squad. And guess who it is? Selina Kyle, Catwoman. Oh my god, the hype was so real. Because now he's going to do this government mission for Amanda Waller, basically his own Suicide Squad. And he is going to go into another country, I forget which, I don't exactly remember what the mission is, but he has Catwoman. So it's going to be Batman, Catwoman, Ventriloquist, and other Batman villains all working together. It's going to be fucking awesome. Batman number 10 coming out soon. I can't wait for it. Here is Trinity number 2. I love the art. You can see it's Henry Cavill art. You know, the cover's a little bit misleading, such in the fact that really you don't see Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman really in their true form. But it's really good. I mean, this issue was great, issue 2. I will spoil it for you here once again. Basically, you find out that Poison Ivy is the main villain. Not only is she the main villain, but she's making Superman have visions about her father, or his father, and it is great. And I think that they're going to switch. So, like, the first 2 issues are Superman-based. They take place in Smallville. Lois Lane, John, is in the mix, Superman's son. And I think that in the future, they're going to do, like, okay, so we got 2 Superman issues. Let's do 2 Batman issues. So I think that's the way it's going to go. My neck's sort of getting tired because I'm leaning in, and the camera's not all that high. Let me see if I can... Well, maybe I can just lean down like this. This works. Oh, my neck is kind of hurting just looking at the camera. Okay, so let's see. We've got Wonder Woman here. Wonder Woman number 8. This issue, if I recall, this issue is kind of... What even happened? This was a while ago. This is like... Probably read this 3 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, this issue was filler. This was Barbara Ann and her backstory as an archaeologist. It was important to the story, kinda. But, yeah, I mean, Barbara Ann, of course, the cheetah. It was fine. The cover, this is a variant cover, and it is fucking epic. I mean, look at that. But, yeah, this issue wasn't anything worth riding home about. What time is it? Holy crap, is it 9:06? Oh, 8:06. What the fuck? My alarm clock's an hour off. What the hell? I just got really worried because The Walking Dead's on tonight. It's Sunday. Okay, we got plenty of time. I knew I had plenty of time. I wouldn't have started the video because I knew this was going to take a while. But we're already well over halfway on our way, boys, so... This has been fun so far. I'm really enjoying this. Just sort of going through with you guys comics. So there's Wonder Woman 8. Good. Aquaman, number 9. This is a continuation of The Unstoppable. I'm trying to look back through it. Have I read this? No, I have not read this. I knew I missed this shit. I don't remember this at all. Well, I gotta put this over here. I'm reading that tonight. Okay, cool. I knew I missed it. I knew... Fuck. Yeah, that's my bad. Red Hood and the Outlaws number 3. I read this, surely. Did I not? Maybe I didn't read all of these one week. Did I, like, not read a full week of books? No, I read this. I read this. Yeah, I read this for sure. This is a pretty good issue. Yeah. Black Mask, yes. Okay. I want to reread it. I don't remember everything about it. Now, Red Hood and the Outlaws is a book that has been very good. Oh, I'm not in camera. Red Hood and the Outlaws has been very good, in my opinion, by Lobdell. Interestingly enough, he did the new 52 Red Hood and the Outlaws, and I heard that was horrible. Armin from the Comic Book Cast, he was telling me a while ago on Twitter, he was like, I tweeted, like, I've never read anything bad from the new 52. I don't understand why the flack it gets. And he's like, have you read Red Hood and the Outlaws? And I was like, no. And he's like, it's fucking awful. I'm like, oh shit, I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to go back and read it. Because you can get it on trade. So we're giving it a go in this, and maybe he's learned from the criticism of the past. Supergirl number 2. Definitely a combo between, you know, the DEO shenanigans and everything. Oh, I got a mark on it, look. See that? See that pen mark right there? See, that's what happens when you don't bag and board your books on time, Slick. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be I'm going to have to worry. I'm going to have to try to get that out later. Otherwise, the book's in good shape, though, as you can see. It's probably a 9.8, even so. But anyway, what was I saying? You see, I'm very OCD about my comics, to be honest with you. And this is why comics are so expensive, because you got to get this stuff, too. You can't just buy the books, you know what I mean? Unless you really do just like reading it and you don't really care about longevity. And the thing is, these books aren't going to age. They're not. I mean, it's not like the paper comics. You know, like I've got... hold up, I'll show you in just a second. There we go. Here's Supergirl. You know, I've got these back issues right here. Oh, Just kidding, I don't. That's embarrassing. Oh, here we go. No, that's not a good example either. Where's that Superman book I just had? Yeah, like this book. Okay? This book will age like shit. You see the paper? That's going to yellow. That's going to turn brown if you don't get it in a bag and board. And you need to get it in a bag and board and keep it airtight too. So, speaking of it, we'll get it right here. Superman Action Comics 700. I don't recall I got all the way through this, so I'm not going to bag and board it just yet. So I'm going to need to get through that later. But that's a plus-size issue. I got it for $1. So, add that to my read tonight list. By the way, guys, this next week, I don't know when you're watching this video, I'm going to be so busy. I have so much schoolwork, it is insane. But we're going to get through it, guys. And then videos will be flooding out like insanity because I cannot wait to get into it and, try to make videos every single day. I'm going to try to do it over this next week. It's going to be tough, though, man. It's going to be tough because I just got so much stuff. And, of course, grades are the priority. Got them straight A's, you know what I'm saying? Not trying to fuck that up. And besides, we need to wait for some news to run through here soon. Something rather. Cool cover, Flash number 8. Ah, yay! The Amazing Spider-Man number 7. Now I can rant about, Spider-Man that's a fucking millionaire and shit. And, the Spider-Man... In reading... Let me back up. Spider-Man is pretty much, my first favorite character. But, the thing about Spider-Man is recently they've had a few missteps with him. I do like this. He's a politician and he's like, I give all my money to charity, all that sort of stuff. But I have issues with this sort of portrayal of him. I mean, he's got the spider car. It's just like Batman. And in reading Spider-Man a little bit more, I think I've learned and I've recognized that the Spidey family can't keep up with the Bat family. Not even a little bit. And he's got these people working for him and different, I guess like Spider-Man, Robin sort of thing in this book. I don't even know who a lot of them are. You see, this book was $6. Oh my god, I would be so pissed if I spent $6 on this, because it's not that good. But yeah, if you see this book, I wouldn't buy it. I would buy, however, this is written by Dan Slott, who's a great writer, I think. He doesn't like, well, he bashes a lot of the DC stuff recently, but anyway, Dan Slott's a great Spider-Man writer, and he writes the series that I'm about to show you next. So, there's the Amazing Spider-Man. Plus-sized issue. I got it for $1. He wrote this, which is Spider-Man Renewing Your Vows. A great series. I mean, great. It's sort of like Superman and Superboy, where you have John, who is half, super, okay, and half not, okay? It's the same thing here, where you have their daughter, MJ, and Peter's daughter, she's got Spidey powers. But like half. So she's half Spidey person, half not, That's just sort of how genetics work. Mary Jane is not a web slinger and was not bitten by a radioactive spider or anything like that. So it takes place in the future. There's flying cars and shit like that. And Renewing Your Vows is so good. I mean, the first issue, it is mesmerizing. It is just, oh my god, so good. So I'd recommend that. The second issue wasn't that great, and I don't plan on reading it any further. But, just that first issue, it's like, wow. So there it is, Renewing Your Vows, number 2. Oh, yes, Supergirl, number 12. Random back issue, got it for $1. I love reading Supergirl back issues. One of my favorite back issue characters to read. Some characters don't translate very well to back issue. What I mean by that is, in reading them in the current times that they are written, that's how they were intended to be read. And Supergirl's not one of those characters. She transcends time, so to speak. So this next book, I'm really excited to show you. It's from indie publishers. An indie publisher, rather. Oh, fuck, I lost my tape again. Damn, it is hot in my room. I am burning up right now. I'm trying to get this tape. Fuck me. There we go. Oh, shit. That's the only problem about using tape that's so thin. There we go. Got it. Okay, I'll use this frayed piece of tape just because it's like an old back issue anyway. Okay, so there's Supergirl. Maybe I should bag and board the $1 that are really old and never going to be worth anything, but I don't know. I like doing it anyway. So, 401 AD. This is an indie book published by, I do believe, Valiant. Got it for free. My comic shop was giving it out, and it was really good. Like, surprisingly good. It has the photorealistic art that I really like. Can't see it for shit. But yeah, 401 AD. It's like in a super dystopian future, and you can see this is a variant only available at the comic book store that I go to. That's the logo of the comic shop I go to. So, really cool. Basically, it's about this guy. His dad is a dictator of this dystopian floaty world thing. It's hard to explain, and it's one of those things where if I explain it to you with words, you'll be like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm never buying that. And it was really good. So, it's $4 an issue, though, so I don't know. Rebirth is just killing it right now. They are just killing it. They are making plays, DC is. So, there it is. I've got these Batman Eternal back issues here. I've got issues 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, this is from the same comic book store where I got issues 1 through 6. So I've got issue 7 here, and 8, 9, and 10. Trust me, they're right here. But I'm not going to bag and board those right now because they are $1 back issues. And I'd rather talk about the new books, and I've only got 3 left, so we'll talk about those. So this is just Night of the Monster Man Part 4. You can see, pretty amazing cover. If we focus. Yeah, whatever. So, pretty cool cover if you ask me. The whole Night of the... Again, I just love the Night of the Monster Man. I thought it was great. And people were critical, like, oh, it's filler. And yeah, it is filler. I mean, heck yeah, it is, but it's great. You know, it's not what... Especially after Red Robin dies, you know? I mean, it's nobody dies or anything like that, and you don't think anybody's going to die just because that Red Robin just died. They're not going to kill off spoiler or anything. But it's good. It is really damn good. So there's Night of the Monster Man Part 8. Or 5, sorry. Issue 8, Batman. Here we go. This is my boy, Abracadabra, again. Oh, he's so fucking beast. I mean, he is just one of my favorite villains. Now. And this is the first series I've ever read with him. Oh my god. He is so cool. I just can't get over it. I mean, I can't really explain why. It's just so, he's so cool. And, you know, I really like the character Donna here, which is Wonder Girl. And, oh my god, Abracadabra is great. And issue 4, it reminded me so much of the moment in The Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 1, where, spoiler alert, Negan says, Rick, you're going to chop your son's hand off. That's basically what Abracadabra does in issue 4. Basically. Basically, he says, all of your friends are captured. You have to choose between saving this person, this, you know, Donna, all the way down the line, or the love of your life, who's right here. And you don't have enough time to save all of them. And Flash being the Flash, and they're all in different locations, I should say that. So, like, one's in Massachusetts and whatever. And the Flash goes, I'm the Flash, I can do it. And Abracadabra's like, you could try. But the reason that he's doing it is he's baiting Wally in to run so fast that he gets lost in the Speed Force. Is that a dog? Yeah, it's a dog. Sorry. Run so fast that he gets lost in the Speed Force, like he did in Rebirth. Of course, all Rebirth started when he showed up again. And he's feeling a little bit of regret, Wally is, because he's like, if I never show back up, all of my friends wouldn't be in danger, which is true, to be honest with you. But that's not to say you should feel bad for it, but it is true. Oh my god, he's so good. And I just love Abracadabra. He is a fucking beast villain. So here's Wonder Woman number 7. The variant art for these books is just out of this world good. Oh, Wonder Woman, that is. Some of them are good, some of them is not. And that's one of the things that I don't like about pull lists. Now, pull lists is where you tell the comic book store, hey, I want this book, this book, this book every week. And just pull it for me, and that's why they call it a pull. Just take it out of the shelf and just put it in a bag, and then when I show up, just say, hey, it's me, I want my books. And they've already pre-selected for you. The reason I don't do that is because I want to be able to pick out the variant covers. Now, usually books aren't going to have them for that long, but I think it's just a new thing with Rebirth that they're having like for every book. Now, usually that's not going to be the case, as I said. And, it's just great to see that art, so you can choose which one you want, and it's the same exact issue, just a little bit different art. It's not like an exclusive thing. It's like you just get to pick which cover do you like more, and usually the variant art is better. And insofar as the variant art, the variant artist is trying to do something different than they did in the real cover art, and usually it's better. That's the honest truth of it. Usually it's more simplistic, generally speaking. Of course, the main cover, it's like all flashy. It wants to show you like, oh, shenanigans, shit's going down in this issue. You got to buy this. And the variant issue is just sort of takes a step back usually, and that's what the art is here. Where it's usually just like a self-portrait of Wonder Woman. I think it's great. I'm glad they do it. So we have actually 3 more. So we've got Suicide Squad. My neck's getting tired, so I'm going to fast forward this. So we've got Suicide Squad number 3, and we've got Teen Titans Rebirth, which is the issue where they basically go into, this is a great issue. You need to buy it. You really need to buy it. So it's Beast Boy like partying with like hot girls and shit like that. And that's really cool. And then it's like, Starfire. You switch to Starfire. It is great. It's by the same writer of Arrow, Green Arrow. So that's that. And then we also have Batgirl number 3, which is really good. And in this issue, if I do recall, she makes out with the one guy, or is that in... Yes. So she makes out with Kai, or whatever, her little boyfriend. No, that was actually an issue 2. And she's sort of onto him, on that her little friend might be up to something. So that's really good. That is it for this video, guys. I just bag and boarded about 50 comics, maybe a little bit less than that. And I've still got a few more to bag and board. I'm going to reread some of those. Reread Superman 700, Aquaman number 9, and a little bit of other stuff. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video. 42 minutes strong. If you're still here, comment, I don't know. Don't comment it. Just comment, I watched the whole video, Slick. That's exactly what you say. And, that's really cool. Thank you all for watching this video. And if you want to see this in the future, let me know. It just, sort of talking about comics as I bag and board them. I thought it was fun. I had a blast. And thank you guys for joining me and accompanying me while I bag and board my comics, which is generally a rather boring, venture, or, hour. Just bagging and boarding by myself. Now, usually I'll put on a podcast, that sort of thing. But anyway, you get the point. I'm very appreciative that you guys stuck through with me and, accompanied me as I bag and boarded my comics for this month. If you want to see this next month, just let me know. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.